The city glowed with Christmas lights, but inside the 45th floor executive office, CEO Jonathan Holley sat completely alone. The entire building had gone silent hours ago. Everyone had rushed home to their families, laughter echoing through the halls, everyone except him. Jonathan stared at a framed photo on his desk, his late wife holding their newborn son. She had passed away 10 years earlier, and every Christmas since then felt colder than the last. His son, now away in college, was spending the holidays abroad. Jonathan had sent him money, gifts, everything a young man could want. But what he truly wanted, family, felt further away than ever. He leaned back in his chair, rubbing his tired eyes as snow tapped against the tall windows. "Another Christmas alone," he whispered. He tried diving into work, but the silence hurt more than the loneliness itself. He had built a billion-dollar empire, but somehow lost every piece of warmth along the way. Finally deciding to step outside for fresh air, he took the elevator down and walked into the empty lobby. Only one person remained, Maria, the night shift cleaner, quietly decorating a tiny fake Christmas tree she brought from home. Her 4-year-old daughter Lily sat on the floor beside her, humming and playing with tinsel. Jonathan tried to walk past unnoticed, but the little girl suddenly looked up at him. Her big brown eyes widened when she saw the tears he had been trying to hide. "Mister, are you crying?" she asked softly. He froze. No one had asked him something so simple, so human, in years. Jonathan forced a smile. "No, sweetheart. I'm okay." But Lily stood up, walked closer, and gently held his hand with her tiny fingers. "Don't be sad," she whispered. "Mommy always makes people feel better. If you're lonely, you can borrow my mom tonight." Maria gasped softly, embarrassed. "Lily, don't say that." But Lily continued, completely sincere. "It's Christmas. No one should be alone." Jonathan felt something inside him crack, the kind of break that lets light back in. For the first time in a long time, he felt seen. And a single unexpected thought entered his mind. Maybe this Christmas didn't have to be lonely after all. The little girl's innocent offer hung in the cold air like a fragile snowflake. And for a long moment, the CEO, Daniel Hart, couldn't find his voice. He, the man known for decisive boardroom rulings and billion-dollar mergers, stood frozen by the kindness of a child who had nothing, yet offered everything. Daniel slowly knelt to her height. "Sweetheart, why would you say that?" he asked softly, fearing the answer. The girl held the newborn warmth of her hand against his arm, trying to comfort him the way she had seen her mother comfort others. "Because you're sad," she said simply. "Mama tells me that Christmas is for sharing love, and you don't have anyone to share with." Her words pierced him deeper than any corporate failure ever had. Before he could respond, the restaurant's door opened and a woman stepped out, the girl's mother. Her face carried the exhaustion of someone who worked double shifts, yet she had a softness in her eyes that made her look warm despite the freezing night. "Mia," she called gently. "You can't run off like that." Then she noticed Daniel's expression, the reddened eyes, the trembling hands, the loneliness he tried so hard to hide. Something in her shifted. "I'm so sorry if she bothered you," she said quickly, pulling her daughter close. Daniel shook his head. "Not at all. She helped me more than she knows." The mother gave a small, cautious smile. "It's Christmas Eve," she said. "People feel things more deeply this time of year." Daniel looked at them, a humble mother in a thrift store coat, and her daughter with torn gloves and the brightest heart he had ever seen. He felt a sudden, unfamiliar desire, not to escape, not to fix things with money, but simply to stay. "Would you both?" He hesitated, worrying he'd sound strange. "Like to join me for dinner?" "Just dinner. Nothing more." The mother blinked in surprise. "Us? With you?" "Yes," he said firmly. "Your daughter reminded me what Christmas is supposed to feel like." Mia clapped her hands with delight. Mama, see? I told you we should help him." And just like that, under the dim glow of a snowy Christmas Eve, 3 lonely souls took the first step toward changing each other's lives forever. The next morning, the city was covered in a soft layer of snow, glowing under the gentle winter sunlight. Inside the small apartment, warmth filled the air, something Ethan had not felt in years. He woke up to the sound of laughter coming from the kitchen. When he stepped inside, he saw little Lily standing on a stool, carefully stirring pancake batter while her mother guided her hands. Ethan froze. For years, Christmas mornings had been silent. He had spent them with spreadsheets, reports, and empty coffee cups. But this was different. There was life here. There was warmth. There was family. Maria noticed him standing there silently. "Good morning," she said softly. "We're making breakfast. Join us?" Lily hopped down, ran to him, and grabbed his hand with excitement. "Come, mister, you can sit next to me. Mom makes the best pancakes." Ethan's chest tightened. He sat down slowly, as if afraid a single movement would break this fragile moment of happiness. As they ate together, the child chatted happily about her school, her dreams, her worries. Ethan listened, captivated. No one had spoken to him like this in years. No one saw him as anything other than a CEO, a billionaire, a boss. But Lily saw only a lonely man who needed company. After breakfast, Lily suddenly ran to her room and returned with a small, worn-out box wrapped in a red ribbon. "This is for you," she said proudly. Ethan blinked, confused. "For me? But I didn't get you anything." "You don't have to," she said with a smile. "Christmas means giving to someone who needs it." Her mother's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Lily." "Sweetheart." Ethan slowly opened the box. Inside was a tiny paper angel, carefully cut and colored with crayons. The wings were uneven, the halo crooked, but the love behind it was unmistakable. "It's my favorite," Lily said softly. "But you need an angel more than me." Ethan's throat tightened. Never in his wealth, his success, or his luxury-filled life had anything touched him like this simple gift. He leaned down and hugged the child, something he had not done to anyone in years. "Thank you, Lily," he whispered. "You gave me Christmas again." He looked at Maria, at her kindness, her strength, her warmth, and something shifted inside him. For the first time in a long time, he felt home.